Hey guys, I'm Louise and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am going to be repotting two plants today. So before I get into that, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video for some more planty content. So the two plants I'm going to be potting up today, one is my baby monstera albo. So the reason why I'm putting this one in new soil is because basically the soil has gotten all like really clumpy and gritty, and it's just I don't think it's like viable anymore. It's like just bunching up, and yeah, so that's kind of basically it for that one. This was put in bonsai potting mix only because that's all I had at the time, and this I just got this and it really needed potting up because obviously I didn't have a really nice like soil in, so I had to change the soil for that, and yeah, now I had to rechange the soil again, but I've had this for about half a year, so I guess it just kind of ready for it to be changed. Plus like the root is exposed. I mean, it's not a bad thing, it is an aerial root, but I'd rather just like get the whole thing because like we've just got little chunks of soil everywhere. And the second plant that I'm going to be repotting is my watermelon peperomia because it hates me to bits. Literally it keeps popping off leaves, so I reckon that's what I've got in. Oh god, another dead leaf. So I reckon what this came in, the soil is just too compact for its liking. It doesn't like it. Obviously it's the moisture is not getting out of it. It's just, I don't know what's going on with this plant and I really don't want to know. So yeah, we're basically just gonna get into it. I'm gonna start with this plant because I'm holding it, so I'm just gonna start with this one. I think I'm gonna try and pop this one in some water, see if it'll propagate. But for now I'll just leave it to the side. So I'll change the camera angle and you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of trying to work with like the most limited space ever. I haven't really figured out like the best camera position or like the best angle. I'm just kind of playing around at the moment. I am thinking of getting like a little tripod so I might be able to like stand my phone on that, but you know, we've got this for now, and I think it's like the best camera angle I've gotten so far, so you can actually see what I'm doing and see me at the same time, so you can see me talking that. Anyway, so I'm basically just going to take this guy out of the pot, and I'm just going to basically remove all the soil. Wow, okay. So I'm just going to support the plant and basically just like put the pot to one side, and I'm just going to basically just kind of, you know, slowly take off the soil without it going everywhere. It's got a nice small root system. You can probably see that, can't you? Yeah. It's got a nice small root system. I have lost like one plant. I think there was two plants in here and I lost the other one. I was like, right, it's time to start, that's a twig, time to start, you know, giving it new soil, just repotting it, just, it's in something. Okay. So I'm very gently just taking off the soil. Yeah, I've got like a bunch here. I'm supporting the plant. As you can see, I'm just supporting it so it doesn't... It looks like it's in something. I don't know what. You see that there? It looks like it's in something. Which is probably why it's not very happy. Oh, okay. Okay, this plant does not look happy at all. This is what we got. I'm very gently like taking away at the soil. So from what it looks like here, it looks like this plant is in something. I know I keep saying that, but look, it's a cube and we've got some roots coming out of here. So I don't know what the rest of that root system was. Maybe that was from the other plant or something. But like, I'm not really sure really. I'm just gonna dispose of this dispose of the what I've got here, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I am back. I have just disposed of the soil that was all on here. So another thing that I'm gonna say is that when I repot plants, I do not reuse the soil at all. I actually tend to put new batch of soil in. Like if I'm like taking soil off roots and putting new soil in the pot with the roots in nicely, yeah, I always bin it because it's just not worth keeping. I know a lot of people do it where they just keep the soil, like they've just changed the soil but they've kept like the soil that they took out to replace. And I just don't think it's worth it really. If like your plant's been in that soil for ages, it's not gonna have any nutrients at all. I have a really bad feeling about this. I feel like these it's wrapped in something. So weird. Yeah, that's definitely wrapped in something. Can you see that? It's definitely wrapped in. It's like cardboard or something. This is another alocasia incident, isn't it? If you guys haven't seen like my alocasia pest video, I like lost like I think it was 2 alocasias. Yeah, I lost 2 alocasias to it. I lost my stingray and I also lost my wenti to thrips. And my stingray was actually, the roots were covered in netting, as well as my zebrina. My zebrina had literally like no roots at all. Like crazy. Yeah, this has got this root's covered in something, and I don't know what. But you can see that definitely it's covered in something and it's ridiculous. That's probably why it's not happy at all. Like, why do people like wrap their plants' roots and stuff? It basically stops it from growing. Here we go. I'm very gently just like taking it off. Obviously you can see the roots down here. I'm just very gently kind of teasing it off and just hoping that it doesn't break anything off. Obviously the little root system that you saw was not attached to this plant at all. It must have rotted or something, because this plant does definitely not have enough roots at all. It doesn't have any, and it's really crazy. What's going on here? You can definitely see that something is attached within this, and it's ridiculous. They've wrapped the roots in something. I don't know what it is. It's like, it's some sort of material. It's definitely some sort of material. It's not netting though, but it's some sort of material that the roots have actually gone through, and they wrap the roots in it. I'm literally yanking out roots. There we go. It's material. So I was so happy to get this, and I'm not gonna shit on the seller or anything. It's just, you got to be careful with just with any big like plant stores. Just got to be careful that they haven't like sneakily wrapped the roots in something, because that's basically what happened. And obviously the roots can get tied up and it's literally left with nothing. So if you guys are ever worried that your plant isn't doing well, always check the roots first, because you never know. If you haven't repotted the plant before, you might have the roots wrapped up in something, or there might be root rot or anything like that. And obviously we can see here that this plant was wrapped with this, and you know, fun. Yeah, so that's basically it. The roots that I've got are pretty much healthy. I'm just going to wash these roots and then I'll be back in a second. So I am back. I have just wash the roots as much as I can. They're still quite dirty, but they're not rotting, so they're absolutely fine. Look how much roots there are. There's not even that many at all. It's just stupid and it's crazy, and it just goes to show that you should never put anything at the bottom of your pots unless it's like a coffee filter or something. I guess they're okay, but even then, never put any netting or anything like that at the bottom of your pots, just like at the bottom, so to cover the holes, because honestly it's just not worth it, because this is the evidence. Look at the evidence. Like, that's just crazy, and it just puts your plant in such a bad place, because if you ever like have to repot it or anything, like you're gonna end up having to like yank out or cut off like a ton of roots that your plant has like taken that time to grow. Like, I don't even know how my watermelon peperomia is going to even cope, because look how much roots there are. I think I might have to put this in a smaller pot, only because of just, it's crazy. So I'm going to actually change the pot size, because the pot is way too big for these small roots. The plant is absolutely massive, but it just has no roots at all. Like, it literally has nothing. It's just like my Sabrina, absolutely just so annoying. So I'm just going to grab a smaller pot and I'll be back in a second. Right, so I've got a smaller pot, only a little bit smaller. It's more like smaller in the terms of width than height, just because obviously the roots are literally minimal. I just don't want to put it in too big a pot and the roots start to rot, because that would be awful. Also, my Sabrina is doing very well, as my alocasia poly is doing very well as well, so don't worry. My Sabrina probably is growing lots of roots now. It's just taking time to grow roots. Fingers crossed. We still got the one leaf, so they're doing all right. So the potting mix that I use usually, that you guys obviously will know about, is the houseplant potting mix. It has added ceramicys and perlite, as you can see in with it. This is an 8-litre one. I bought like 2 of these like a couple of days ago, and they came in the post today. I wasn't actually supposed to get these like for like another week or so, so I was just so happy that they arrived in just such short time. So I will link this down in the description. I did get these from Amazon. This is like the best like plant potted mix to get, especially for me anyway. I mean, the only reason why like I'm saying that is because I don't have enough money to basically make my own potting mix, but at the moment I'm just kind of enjoying just having it like readily made, and it works super fine. Like, honestly, all my plants are loving it, and I'm hoping my my watermelon peperomia will as well. But yeah, in the future I probably will start making my own potting mix, but in the meantime I'm just enjoying this stuff, and it's doing well for my plants. So, you know, I never put anything at the bottom of my pots. Literally there's pretty much no need for it anyway, because, you know, there will be soil that will come out, but the thing is, it's just basically draining out like the loose soil, and all the none of like blocked up minerals will be, like, no minerals will be blocked up in the soil. Like anything that like comes out from a pot, you know, you're not going to lose soil when you water. You probably just get a few specks, it's basically just flushing it out. It's like leca, you just flush leca out like every like so often, so it's basically just the same. I'm putting halfway kind of in. I'm doing like my own little fill up, make a hole and then dump it in, because obviously there's not enough root to, I think I might have stacked another. This plant is so easy to snap leaves off. It's ridiculous. I hate it. So I'm trying to be as careful as possible. Basically, I just filled it up pretty much to the top, put a hole in. Obviously, because there's actually no roots, I'm I'm just going to do that because it's just so much easier. And then just dump it in the hole and fill it up. Hopefully this guy will feel a lot better when it's actually in a smaller pot with its roots uncovered. It does have like a lot of like new growth, but the growth is like dying, so hopefully this will actually help it keep its new growth. And there we have it. I have potted up my watermelon peperomia. It is looking a lot happier in a little pot. It's quite big still, and I'm so glad I still have the one plant. I did actually have two, and that one like died off slowly, so I'm guessing that one had like its roots wrapped up in as well, but I didn't find anything like that, so I don't know what happened there. But we still got this little cute plant here. Hopefully this one will do much better now it's in nice new soil and its roots are fully uncovered. So the next plant I'm going to repot is my lovely variegated monstera. This leaf, literally the whites, it was like white all along here, and obviously it had to get cut off because it's been like browning quite a lot, and the edges are still browning a little bit. That's just because obviously before I got humidifiers, it didn't have a humidifier at all, so it basically just kind of started browning and it just wasn't really doing very well, so I just kind of cut it off as much as I can. That happens with variegated plants, especially the variegated monstera, because the white has no chlorophyll in at all, so it cannot photosynthesize enough to the point where it will keep the white, so it kind of starts browning the white off. I did have a fully white with like a little bit of green in the middle of like one of the leaves, but obviously that didn't have enough humidity or enough chlorophyll in at all, so it kind of died eventually. So yeah, this guy needs to be potting. The soil is getting really gritty and just bulking up together, making like a big like clumpy mess, so I'm gonna give it some nice fresh soil. So yeah, this actually is bonsai mix. Obviously after like a year or so it just kind of starts to get clumpy for me for some reason. I have no idea why. So yeah, I'm just gonna be really careful about this. I don't know how I'm gonna go about this. Just, it is a rooted cutting. So obviously this like potting mix is literally clumped up to like just a mess, and yeah, so I'm just gonna carefully take off this like dirt. I'm just gonna check out like the roots and stuff and see how it's going. It's looking alright actually. It's doing alright. Got nothing bad in the soil, but as you can see, it's really clumpy, like literally little like clumps of dirt. But yeah, basically this is the root system going on for this one. It's got a lot of roots which are coming off from this big area roots. So yeah, it's doing pretty well. It has this one is the newest leaf which I got last year. It is bringing out a new leaf, I think, maybe. I don't really know what's going on here. It has a little bump like right here, as you can probably see maybe. But it looks to be browning off for some reason, so I don't really know what's going on with that. So maybe this guy just needs to be potted up in some fresh new soil. So I'm just going to give the arrowroot a good squeeze just to check. But everything seems up to date and in order. Obviously these roots have gotten a bit nicer. Apart from that, very small root system. I've had this guy for like a year or so now, so you know, not really sure what else is going on with it, but you know. Alright, gonna throw away the soil and then we'll start potting this guy up. So we have taken the plant out of the soil and we're gonna put some new soil in. Just gonna check the pot quickly. Looks absolutely fine. Obviously this pot absolutely fine as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to load up the bottom just like that much along the bottom of the pot before I then pop the plant in. I always layer the pot with a little bit of soil at the bottom, just so there's enough space for roots to grow more, and that's basically it really. And we're just going to pop this guy back in. So I basically just popped him back in, as you can see. There's no harm in like having like the arrowroot round in a circle. I mean, this guy cannot be in any bigger pot because it will just rot, because the pot will be too big then. But the arrowroot's massive. It's so big, but honestly the roots that it has on it is pretty good. It's stable. Obviously it has pushed out new growth, so it's not a problem for the plant at all. The plant is not moaning or whinging or anything, it's just living its life. I just think it will be beneficial if I put some new soil in with it. I always press down the soil. Obviously it's pretty bad to like press down soil like repeatedly after like layering it, but honestly it kind of works. I don't keep it like compact anyway. I use a moisture meter for when I check if my plants need watering or not. So the soil always gets aired out, it's always very airy. The reason why I press it down so much is because when I actually water the plants that I've just repotted into dry, fresh potting mix, the soil will actually basically compress itself. It will basically sink down as it hasn't been pressed down fully yet. If you just like layer and just without pressing it down at all, you're gonna have to like, so you put that much in, right, it will go down to like, it will go down quite a bit, and you might get roots exposed, your pot will not be filled up properly. It's going to be a complete mess because you're going to have to put more soil in. So I suggest like pack it in as much as you can. Use a moisture meter always for when you're watering your plants, because that's like the best gadget to have when you have plants. You will never ever overwater or underwater. You'll always know the water level and you'll always know whether or not to water your plants. I use this all the time, literally every time I water my plants, which is every single Sunday. I have a little schedule going on. Once a week I water all my plants, all the plants that need watering, not all of them. I always do that and it works perfectly. There's no flaw, it's just perfect. But guys, just make sure, just to remember, I'm going to remind you guys, if you use a moisture meter, always make sure you wipe the part you stick in, the points, after each use. So you stick it in, wipe it, and then you move to the next part, and you do that repeatedly, just so you won't contaminate soil. And also if that plant before you is wet or it's moist, it's gonna have that feeling, so it's gonna like have water droplets on it or what have you, like it's gonna be wet from the last pot that you put in, just to dry it off, just to make sure you get a really accurate reading. And then we have it. I have now potted up my variegated monstera. This one actually seems like it's gonna do a lot better now. It's in a nice potting mix, and it's not it doesn't have any roots exposed either. So just to show you guys, I'm still waiting for these to callus over, but I'm just using these small gin glasses to propagate these leaves, or try to. I have about that much water in, just to have like just the tip in, and then I basically just pop it in the water and down to the very bottom, and that's it basically. I really hope you guys enjoyed this just a very relaxing video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!